And here we go. Thank you for joining me here. My name is Dr. Martin Hiesboeck. I'm the head of research at Uphold, a fast-growing crypto platform. At Uphold Institutional, we focus on providing education and execution in the digital asset ecosystem. Our institutional-grade OTC trading platform's unique trading engine is in fact connected to over 30 different venues, some of them DeFi, some of them CeFi, to provide liquidity in over 300 alternative assets, meaning for some people, anything but Bitcoin. More than 300 we've got. For more information, go to uphold.com/institutional or just uphold.com and trade with us. Now, my guest today gave me a website so I could prepare for today's event. And I went on the website. It says worldmobile.io is the new one. And all I found is a mobile phone company. What the hell is going on here? Welcome, my guest, Micky Watkins.
A pleasure to be on the stage with you, Dr. Martin. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. The last time we spoke, it was all about phone masts in Zanzibar. And now I see a US plan, a big US plan, a small US plan, a global data plan, and the chain is actually finished and running. Give us an update. Maybe you start with yourself, how you got into this to where you are now, how you got into crypto and how mobile tokens started.
With pleasure. I first started World Mobile because of what I perceived to be an ever decreasing level of privacy and security, and I felt that it wasn't right that we were giving up our human rights to be connected. So in the quest for connectivity, we were kind of throwing those rights by the wayside. So I wanted to find a location where I could absolutely deliver this human right. A different type of mobile network operator, a mobile network operator that allowed you to keep your data and to see the things that we see and to know if we're reselling that data. And of course, mobile network operators, the 800 of them, not many were interested in such a solution because the revenue generated from selling data, you often hear data is gold, and it actually is. So I called up a friend. I said to him, look, I'm looking for a location in an emerging market where people don't have quality internet or any internet at all. Can you help me? And he said, yeah, absolutely. And we chose Zanzibar. And Zanzibar, we started off in a very small fishing village. We put up 2 air nodes. Air nodes are essentially radios, but the entire kit of that radio. And we put them up and we had them for 8 months running. And what we saw after that period of time was seismic. You know, we saw a population double. We saw the economy maybe 10x. And then that was our mission. That was the rest of it. And we realized that we could go out there and we could provide a sharing economy run by the people for the people, allowing people to take opportunity to reclaim their power and to have a voice.
Mm-hmm. I heard in Zanzibar it went very well, right? So GDP of the whole island went up. I can't remember exactly. What is the problem you actually solve there? And how did you make the jump from Zanzibar to the global stage? Because the way the website looks now, this is a global phone company. You're allowing me to purchase access to data globally.
Air nodes were the first part of it because if you don't have those deployed and you don't have them deployed in a sharing economy, how can people connect? So air nodes have always been an extremely big part of the puzzle. It was always the plan to build a global mobile network, started in Africa, and then exporting that to the rest of the world. From Zanzibar, we went to Zanzibar Stone Town, a bigger location where we employed a lot of people, trucks, and we started to actually work out how to roll out a sharing economy. We went to schools, went to public buildings, went to private buildings, people's houses, ice cream parlors, and we said to them, look, if you host this piece of infrastructure and broadcast to the street, you are in our sharing economy, you will get paid. So it was, I won't say it was easy, but it was very logical. From that moment onwards, once we realized we'd achieved what we achieved in Zanzibar, in Stone Town, and in the fishing village, we said, hold on, this can go elsewhere. So we went into Nigeria, we went into Kenya, we went into Mozambique, into Malawi, into several other places as well. And then from there, we started seeing interest. And we said, okay, well, we can't run this ourselves. If we do this, you know, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, the 800 plus mobile network operators around the world, they're clearly having a
You're
problem
live. Yeah.
because half the world is unconnected. And if they could connect everybody, they would have already. So we realized that running this ourselves wasn't the best idea, and actually we'd just fall like the rest of them have fallen and reached their limit. So the sharing economy really gave birth when it was first exported into Asia. In Asia, we found a partner. That partner was very interested. We gave him an account manager. Of course, we gave him our support, but we had no members of staff at all on the grounds. Way before the days of ChatGPT, we wrote a book. I would love to publish that one day. And we showed how you build a sharing economy from zero until what we thought would be success. They followed. It was very difficult, I think, for them in the beginning, but all of a sudden something clicked and 200,000 customers came online, and then 300,000, then 400,000, then 500,000. And now we're sitting globally over 2 million customers on the World Mobile Network.
There are 2 million people using World Mobile already.
2 million people on chain using World Mobile already.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is fantastic. I think it was 2 years ago that we first spoke. I'm absolutely impressed by your progress. Now, the obvious question for people familiar with the crypto space is, how does this compare to pioneers like Helium, for example?
That's
How
a good
different
question.
is it?
Well, actually, the concept isn't so different. Helium and World Mobile, I think World Mobile was first when we started to speak to people about where we wanted to go. And this company Helium was talking about IoT. I'd always question whether IoT was good for a sharing economy. Maybe for the founders it's good, but for a sharing economy, I didn't see where the revenue would come from. I agree that in the future there will be revenue in IoT. So we went a different path. We said, okay, we're gonna provide full connectivity to people as opposed to machines. And then at the same time, as we started to grow, Helium moved into a world of CBRS. CBRS is a band 48 spectrum that was licensed by the United Government and given freely to a portion of it given freely to the people to fix this exact problem of people being unconnected or underserved. And then we were focused very much on actually deploying first a Wi-Fi based model in Africa, then in Asia, a fiber and Wi-Fi based model. And then slowly, we decided, okay, we can take this to be a licensed spectrum. When I say licensed spectrum, think of T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, owning their own spectrum, their own mobile core so that they can connect people for voice, text, data, and so on. But how is it different than Helium? I think from a revenue perspective, it's very different. We've been very revenue focused from the beginning. I think from an actual standpoint of the stature of our network, we are an ISP, a wireless ISP, an MVNO, and an MNO. So we have ultimate flexibility to connect anyone in the places where we're present.
So you hold telecom licenses in the countries where you operate?
Yeah, absolutely. You cannot operate otherwise.
Got it.
So
if I wanted to, so how can I take advantage of this network if I want to participate? What are my options? I see quite a few on the website with staking and EarthNode. Can you explain how exactly it works?
Yeah, I think it's for the people that are listening in today for the first time or have just heard of World Mobile. There's three major components to the World Mobile ecosystem. There's multiple verticals and horizontals out from there, but the three major components are one, air nodes. That this is where the revenue comes into initially, because people walk past an air node, they connect to an air node, and then they pay that air node, the World Mobile Network, for their connectivity. That then filters down into the second element, which is, I'll bundle it into two here, but is the EarthNode network. The EarthNode network is essentially a distributed mobile core that provides all of the connectivity from the AirNode network to the rest of the system. And then the third point is a layer 3 built on base, which is a World Mobile chain. And if you combine all of this plus the customer, you now have a very scalable, very efficient mobile network that is run by the people as opposed to run by one entity.
Now, I'm sorry, forgive me for being a bit thick about telecoms, but how does a blockchain-based network integrate with the rest? So how is it to other networks? Does it appear as just another network, or how do you?
Yeah, okay.
Or is it just? Do I have to imagine this like a giant Wi-Fi network on its own?
It's not a Wi-Fi network. In some cases it can be, but it's kind of a dynamic network that incorporates as many elements as we possibly can to provide an ultimate level of connectivity for the unconnected, for the underserved, and for the exploited, which include you and I, because we don't control our own data. How it works is when a customer connects to the World Mobile Network, they create something called an IPDR. An IPDR essentially is a token that keeps their data theirs and proves to an air node operator, as an example, that this DID has connected to the network. This DID being a customer, has connected to the network, has used this much data, and therefore this is who should get paid, this is how much they should get paid, and this is who it should come from. So that's the first element for accounting and identity. The second element, becomes quite a lot deeper. When you're running a mobile operator, it's quite convenient for you to be able to see everything that happens through the network. And then it's even more convenient as EBITDAs are falling for all mobile network operators for you then to take that data, those profiles, and then batch them up and sell them to the highest bidder. So we wanted to be far, far away. We didn't think that was right. So we wanted to be a mobile network operator that set an example, a new standard of how your data should be handled. So that's another part, the immutability part of the ledger. But then as you go further down, if you see World Mobile, there's many options to be able to participate as a user. So you can stake to your mobile plan. There's many options to participate as an affiliate. And of course, all of those things are on chain. And it's very important to do so because, and this is not me just saying this, but if you look at Google, you look at ChatGPT, you type in the legal cases that mobile network operators have to face annually and the fines that they get. You want to be transparent as possible. So for me, telecom, blockchain, crypto is the perfect fit. There was, lots of people thinking about gaming, and this could be a perfect fit. But I think the most natural is something that we use in our hands every day, approximately 201 times a day per person, which is
We
your
pick up a
mobile
mobile
phone.
phone. And we don't talk anymore. I'm always surprised that the telecom providers, they still have plans with unlimited calls and 50 SMS. I don't know anyone who still calls for anything except my mother.
I would say there's an exception that the emerging markets do. So there's still the need for it because
They do call more, yeah.
Yeah, because they don't have a good data connection. They have a good 3G connection, but potentially, but 3G is something that
How do you guarantee that your connection is always stable?
you're always not guaranteed, but you always build enough resilience into the network, and that's one of the things that we pride ourselves on, is making sure that we have the best quality and the best coverage. As you can see, our plans, there are no free plans. There are no really low cost plans, and the reason for that is actually we feel that if you want to have high quality, secure internet, that's going to cost either side. Moreover, I think that if you're part of the sharing economy as an air node operator or an earth node operator, then you want to know that this is a real business that you can actually rely on and generate income to essentially replace maybe your other work or another business, or certainly complement it.
So you can call them and say, hey, I paid $80 for this, or 85. Now I
Yeah.
see two plans in the States: Essential USA, Advanced USA, and then a global plan. With data limits, obviously, all of them. They all include staking. So how does it work wallet-wise? I need to have, I buy one of these plans, and then what?
Okay, this is where it's beautiful. To interact with the World Mobile blockchain and to pay the sharing economy, to reward the sharing economy, as a user, you don't have to know anything about crypto. The minute that you sign up, you already are secured by the blockchain. You're already using World Mobile's ecosystem, and out of your bundle, you pay for that automatically. However, if you do know about crypto and you do know about blockchain, you're able to take a deeper step. And then you can, as an example, stake your tokens in multiple different tiers in order to receive multiple different benefits. And those benefits are definitely something that you may choose to gain, because those benefits can include a discount on purchasing an Airnode, or cashback on your plan, or ability to be able to increase your affiliate bonus, ability to be able to have Dragon Pass, and all different things. So whatever suits you as a customer, if it's just, you know, a discount on your bill, you can get that. If it's to be more involved and benefit from the World Mobile Network, that's also there too. So you'll log into your panel, your account page. Everything will look as you expect. You'll be able to see the SIM cards that you own. You'll be able to see how much your usage is. You'll be able to see your DID and click through on that to see stuff on chain. But at this stage, you don't really need to know about crypto. However, once you log in, you choose to stake. You'll connect your wallet. And once you've connected your wallet, you'll choose what you want to stake, for which period of time you want to stake it. And immediately those other benefits will become available to you. And you know, that's just the beginning of the utility for the token. From a consumer point of view, we believe there's going to be many more applications built on top of the World Mobile chain that will benefit World Mobile token, benefit World Mobile, and benefit those builders building on the chain to actually bring real users. One of the very important things to remember is World Mobile right now is a gateway to the internet for millions of people, and in the future will be to hundreds of millions of people and billions of people. But equally, it's also a gateway to real people, which is very rare in crypto, to be able to sell products, get users that builders will build on top of the World Mobile chain and be able to access. So not only is it the gateway to the internet for millions, it's also a gateway to millions for DApp developers.
Now, we are doing this because right now you have activated a new staking program. It's called the WMTX rewards portal. What is new? I think it happened beginning of June. What is new with the staking? What do I earn?
There's core staking, which is very similar to any other staking that you would think on Cardano or on Ethereum, where you help to secure the network and you earn approximately 5% APR. But that is soon to be changed. That is going to change with the release of the Earthnode network to Earthnode staking. And that's going to be a very exciting moment for us as well. There's also Premier staking, which is middle of July, will be open to the first bunch of users joining the network, and thereafter in August to everybody. But there's also some other interesting elements that are coming out, like Airnode staking, which will allow users to be able to stake to their Airnode or to somebody else's Airnode and increase the yields available to that Airnode by securing the network and helping us with different elements of randomness that we're looking for in order to be able to choose our committees when processing data onto the World Mobile chain.
So where do you see your competitors? Is it traditional telecom firms that will be adopting blockchain, or will, I mean, you have great plans of expansion, but you must be aware of competitive threats. Where do you think they're most coming from?
First of all, I think competition is a fantastic thing. It encourages people. It directs. You know, XNet, for example, they followed our example. If you took a Carrier One as well, you know, they've taken a lot of inspiration from World Mobile. But you look at other companies like Pollen, for example. You know, they had a great model, but ended up falling by the wayside and being gamed. And then you look at Helium. They're not really a crypto company anymore. They've kind of made an MVNO with T-Mobile, and they're reselling T-Mobile, and then you've got a separate SIM that you can Wi-Fi offload, which again isn't a huge revenue driver. So we don't really see much competition yet in the blockchain crypto space, although I'm sure it will come, and I welcome it, and the collaborations I think can happen. But from the traditional side, I think we are able to scale. When I say I think, we've proven we're able to scale faster, better than they can at this very moment in time. You know, telecoms is tanking, profits are falling because of legacy business models and legacy infrastructure. So as much as I don't want to be competition to the oligopoly that is the existing telecom operators, and I'd like to be an additional complement service to them, or to be able to work with them, I think it's inevitable if we continue the trajectory of growth that we have, and we continue to empower people to earn money by putting a radio on their roof, and we continue to be able to bring subscribers on at the rate that we are. It's inevitable that we will be considered a competitor to traditional legacy mobile network operators.
Now, in the world mobile universe, I can be a host, I can be an operator, or I can be both. Can you explain the differences?
Sure. You can be a host, which means that you have a location, or you know of a location, and you're giving up that rooftop in return for rewards. You get paid a portion of every dollar that comes through, approximately 10 to 20%, depending on the location. You can be an operator. We're a remote operator. That means you can sit anywhere in the world. You can buy an air node. You can log into your panel. You can sign up with a host, match with them, and you can join business together. Essentially a JV, a signed contract that says, I'm buying the infrastructure, you're hosting the infrastructure. My job is the CapEx. Your job is to make sure you look after the infrastructure. And in that case, as a remote operator, you'll earn anywhere between 50 to 60% of every dollar that rolls into the network. And of course, you can be both, the host operator. So it can be your house and you choose to buy the equipment and put that on the roof, and in which case you earn anywhere between 75 to 80% of all the revenue that runs through the system. But there's actually other roles as well. So there's a very important role in the ecosystem, which is a scanner. A scanner, they have an application. Right now it's just for Android, although we do have the iOS application in test flight, and it is due to be released. Your job is to go out there and find this Swiss cheese, find the unconnected areas, monitor competitors' networks, monitor our network, and feed that information back to us. And with a little bit of AI, we're able to say, okay, this is definitely a great area to go marketing in and to deploy air nodes, because people have sucky connectivity in this area, or this area is completely covered. Let's not overbuild. Let's have a relationship with AT&T or T-Mobile or Verizon, where we can roam onto their network, and we don't have to overbuild their network. And in other places where we see the network is weak, maybe an overbuild is a good idea. So that information, that data set, comes from actually users being on the ground. We have great scanners in our community, and I think that that's going to become a more and more important job. And right now, people are not rewarded for that, but they are gaining points, and those points will eventually be redeemable for airtime on the network, for vouchers, and potentially even for World Mobile tokens.
Now, what about availability? I'm just checking the Air Nodes page. There's one portal available, the 180 for $9,000. How do the economics look on this? If I spend $9,000 now and put your portal on my rooftop, when do I recoup my investment?
Okay, so today's version of World Mobile makes the effort with the sharing economy to be able to deploy infrastructure in places. So we'll choose where we're deploying. Tomorrow's version of the World Mobile Operation Air Node will allow the community to make the right choices based on the information and tools that they have where to deploy. But in today's model, which is running very conservatively, we're returning anywhere between 35 to 50% APR on the physical infrastructure in US dollars via stablecoins.
Fantastic. That might be a good investment. Maybe I turn my rooftop into something useful. Not that I live anywhere with a lot of foot traffic. Do you need a lot of people around you? Does it make more sense in cities, or would you say you can use it anywhere?
It totally depends. We've seen areas in Nevada, Reno, for example, where there's not a lot of foot traffic, but there's terrible connectivity. So it's very easy to get subscribers, and some of those are returning more. You know, the average is, as I said, about 40%. Some of those are returning more than that. But ultimately, we'll start off in the underserved areas. We'll start off in the populated areas, because in order for a sharing economy to grow, people need to be able to make money. And whilst everybody claims to care, and this is every human, unless you're an absolute saint, an angel, eventually you're going to need rewarding for the effort that you put in. It cannot always be a charity. So it's a fine balance of making sure that we connect the unconnected, we serve the underserved, but we feed the sharing economy, because that's what makes growth.
Fantastic. Seems like a noble plan.
Thank you.
The World Mobile Token, WMTX, is now available on Uphold. Is there anything we still need to mention for our listeners? Anything we haven't covered that you would like to talk about?
Yeah, I think that it's very hard to find a project, a business where you can actually participate, and not only are you earning revenue, but you're actually impacting people's lives on a daily basis, and you're able to see that and feel that. So when you do find something like that, you don't let go of it, and that's what we've seen with our community. Those that are involved, they realize the mission that we're doing. They realize the potential in this mission. They're starting to realize the actual profits in this opportunity, and it's going to take a lot of people to connect the unconnected. There's 3.5 billion people unconnected. There's half the world that can't talk to the other. But
Where
it's
are
going to
they?
take.
Is it mostly Africa, or?
You would think that, and yes, I would say it is. It's mostly the emerging markets. But then you look at the United States of America, 30% of the landmass is unconnected, around 11% of the population is unconnected, and around 40
Oh,
to
wow.
45% of the population suffers from major outages around their locations. So, where are you based?
I'm in Europe, in the
You're
middle
in
of
Europe.
Europe,
Okay,
in
so
Austria.
even in Europe, you know that in the major cities, okay, 5G has been deployed or 4G has been deployed. But take London, for example. Try having this spaces in a taxi in London. You won't be able to have it. The quality of the connection just isn't there. The towers are overloaded. So it's not
Canada
just.
is also a place where we've had some problems with connectivity, all these vast countries, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So the opportunity in the emerging markets is massive. It's going to take some time for people to be connected in order for them to be able to bring financial value equal to or similar to what's in Europe and what's in the United States of America. But India is a perfect example of this. You know, if you look at India 20 years ago, 15 years ago, India was not in the game. Now, if you look at most CEOs of tech companies in Silicon Valley, a high majority, and not a minority, are of Indian descent, and it's easy to see why. You've got many villages connected. With those villages came Cisco WebEx. You know, that was the first era of video conferencing. People were able to attend seminars. They were able to jump online and learn to code. They're able to become engineers, NOCs, and there's a reason that the Indians are so prevalent in the tech industry, and that's because they had access to high availability, fast, affordable internet, and that completely transformed. So the emerging markets are definitely something that we have heavy focus on, and it's a good bet for the next 7-8 years to watch the average revenue per user increase. But take United States of America, for example, the average revenue per user is $87. And that's without the home internet aspect of it. So the opportunity is everywhere. It's not just in the emerging markets, it's also in the existing first worlds, I could say. And I think that everybody, even on this call that's listening now and that will listen in the future, will realize that they know when they travel from A to B exactly where the connectivity is bad. They know in their house exactly where the connectivity is bad. So World Mobile offers an opportunity to either fix your problem and your neighbors and get paid for that. But it also offers an opportunity to save yourself the headache of being unconnected. And it really is these days. It's something that unless we actively choose, we don't want to be unconnected. We want to be connected.
There's a meme going around, free Wi-Fi is a human right or something like that. or Maslow's pyramid of needs. The most basic need is Wi-Fi. It sure seems like it. Well, thank you very much for this update on World Mobile Token. As I said, it's available on Uphold now. Thank you so much for listening. We've been Uphold Institutional, and I'll see you in the next presentation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining me today.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you to all the listeners out there, and thank you, Uphold. It's very reputable and very good exchange.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Stay connected.